Good day. This is Small Biz David, and welcome to our regular Saturday morning community meeting for our community in Google Plus that we call Dreaming with Entrepreneurs in Google Plus. I guess it would make sense that that would be a logical name for the community, and that it's been a very exciting experience for me to grow and develop this community. From a marketing strategy standpoint, I was spending too much time. Well, I spend all my time in Google Plus. I don't. It provides the results for me that I'm searching for as I do my marketing, and so I don't need to go into any other platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I've got profiles on all those platforms, but I just don't use them. And not that they're bad platforms, they're very good platforms. It's just that I spend all my time and energy and resources in Google Plus, and it's been a wonderful experience. We started this community, I believe, just about maybe 6 weeks ago, and we just had our 351st member join, maybe during the night, or I don't know when it was, but I think that's probably an increase of 25 or 30 since last Saturday. And once again, it's nice to have all that involvement, but it doesn't mean anything unless people, small business owners like yourself, engage with one another, with other members of the community. We are all about collaboration. How can we help each other? How can I help you? How can you help me? And if we take that kind of approach to it, I help you, you help me. Together, we form a new force in the marketplace, if you will, where we've got some new energies and new ideas and new things happening. And so it just keeps on going and keeps on multiplying. I am very happy and proud to say that every single HOA that we've done, community HOA that we have done, there has been some type of business collaboration. And I guess, Margarita, we've already made this happen because I'm committed to do an HOA with you. So there we go. We accomplished our goal already. But I would like to introduce two panel members today, members of the community. Margarita Crystal Lotus. What a beautiful name, Margarita Crystal Lotus.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
There must be something very artistic behind that name. Is that your God-given name, or is that something you created?
No. There was another very good friend of mine who couldn't remember my last name, and my business is called the Crystal Lotus. So she said Margarita Crystal Lotus. So I decided I'll use that on the internet. Obviously, I have another given name or the surname. So yeah, but I have all my profiles on Margarita Crystal Lotus.
There you go. Well, there's a good. So it's all about your brand. That's the name that you use. It's for branding. Tell us a little bit. You are a relatively new member to the community. When did you join? Was it this week?
Yeah, I think it was maybe a week ago or something like that. Yeah,
it's been relatively recent. So welcome to the community, and tell us a little bit about what you do in your business.
Well, I'm a life and business mentor, and I use my intuition to help and guide overwhelmed and stressed women to overcome emotional problems so that they can be going back into life with more courage, more self-confidence, and also fix problems at work. And this is a very, very cool market that I call the emotional healing market. So one of the things I want to know about is if you could give us some tips about making contact with those people or those women, let's say for me. I also are having with my buddy Heidi Hornline a community or a weekly show called Connections, which it is directed to relationship, expression, and healing. So that's sort of what we've done since the beginning of the year, this 2014.
I just posted something this morning. I'm going to try to find it. There's another member of the community who her name is Jessica Duell, and instantly enough, 2 weeks ago, in an HOA, a community HOA, she actually introduced a whole new business concept with another member of the community, and they collaborated their efforts. But I just posted a quotation today that that Jess that she every week she comes out, every Friday or Saturday she comes out with a blog, and I want to read it to you because it's very appropriate, the quotation she had to what you just said, and that's why I wanted to read it. Learn to speak kindly to yourself and trust your inner voice. Remember, gentleness grows self-confidence.
That's awesome. Beautiful.
Jessica wrote that in her blog yesterday, and I loved it when I read it, and I posted it. So I need to. I will get you and Jess and Nora Whalen, her new collaborators, together, because you folks are all on the same page, if you will.
Yeah, and it's growing. You know, I think that that market is going bigger and bigger because as we're working on the internet with social things, we might not be social in our life on the person-to-person. I mean, people spending hours on Facebook instead of actually interacting with those people in person. And some of that can also result in that some of the emotions that get blocked, and it can cause stress. I'm sure that everyone have experienced what stress is like. You know, it's too overwhelming or everything. I mean, especially for entrepreneurs, because there is a huge pressure there.
I try to, well, as I guess we all do. I don't think anybody wants stress in their life. Stress is another challenge, and I really think a lot of stress, Margarita, comes from it's a mind activity more. I mean, it certainly is a mind thing that oh wow, it's stressing me out, and I think a lot of times folks could deal with, quote, stress better if they took more positive attitudes about what it is that is going on. We could. It's so easy. It's so easy to bring stress into the formula. That's an easy thing.
That's the default level, right? Because the skills, the emotional skills, is not there. Maybe from the, traumatic childhood or whatever. What I do is to provide some kind of mind tools training, so that they have a little easier to overcome these problems. That's very, very easy to use.
You know what? I teach 6 exercise classes a week, and I often think that, well, there's a lot of folks, particularly what hour of the day that they're in one of my classes, they use the exercise experience to release stress. Particularly, I teach a class on Monday evenings, and I find that the folks that come to that class 5:30 Monday evening really are using the experience not just for the physical aspects of the exercise, but as a mental stress release, because I'll get them into a zone and they'll forget about any stress that they have.
So
And
you're an expert on this field. I mean, I've experienced that too, when you do yoga or martial arts or
sure.
running or something like that.
Sure. Well, I'm going to come back to you in a moment, but I want to introduce someone that really needs no introduction to these HOAs because he's here every week, and he's also launched his own HOA, of which he's invited me to be on his panel. And I would like to introduce a guy who he doesn't know any stress. Vivek doesn't know any stress. Because he talks about simplicity. So Vivek, tell us a little bit about what you've got going on. You've got a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. It actually depends on how you define stuff.
Stuff. Define it any way you want to, Vivek, and tell us what's going on.
I am getting active with the HOA and spending quite a lot of time creating the presentation, and that does take a lot of time and effort.
Tell us a little bit about the theme and what it is that you are trying to accomplish with your HOAs.
What I'm trying to accomplish is make it a useful resource for small business owners, so that they can earn. It's funny that you remind me of a HOA which I was just watching just before I came here into this HOA. It's a HOA which was Phil Boyer, and I forget the name of the other person.
It was. I can see his face. It begins with an M.
No, it's no. They were actually talking about the same article that you discussed the other day.
I saw that HOA also. That got my attention because they were focusing on an article that earlier in the week I had done an HOA on that same article, and we just both of us just picked that as a theme. I thought it was a great article. It's kind of interesting. They took Phil took a more, I don't want to say negative approach to the article, but he didn't agree with a lot of the points that were being made. I don't know that I necessarily agreed or disagreed, but I like to present life experiences that relate to those ideas and concepts. You know, the article itself, well-written article, and it's an individual's opinion.
It is, and why I raised that was because in that HOA they were talking about business plan.
Yes, and they took a very negative approach.
It's because typically the business plan is created with a view to impress the bank manager, and that's it. That the business plan more or less starts and ends at that stage. Once you either get through the bank manager or the venture capitalist or somebody like that, either you're successful with that or not. Irrespective of the result of that venture, if you will, they would go ahead with the plan, go ahead with something.
You absolutely need a business plan if you are going outside to get investment into your business.
Yeah,
it's an absolute. Well, no one's going to loan you money.
Yeah, that's true.
Or invest in your company until you can present a strategic business plan that A, gets their attention, B, demonstrates that there's profit to be made.
Yes.
Because if there's not profit to be made, an outside investor is not going to get involved.
Yeah.
And a bank will can easily say, well, I don't know. Not only do you have my loan to pay back, but you've got the interest rate on that loan to pay back, and I don't know if it's a good investment. I've only had outside investment one time in my life, and it was from a bank, and it was in 1978. So it was 36 years ago, and because I actually needed. I was at a point in my business, in the development of my business, where I couldn't bootstrap anymore. I had to make a commitment to growth, and I had a payroll of 15 people. So, you know, the bootstrapping days were over. Those people want paychecks. They don't want hot air.
Yeah. Why I brought that up was because in my HOA series and this Monday's episode, I would be talking about project plans, not business plan, project plan, which is quite different from a business plan, because what I'm saying there is project plan is one which you are going to use, not the bank manager, not the venture capitalist. Project plan is what you are going to use. And
that whole concept, and I've met you and I have had plenty of discussions, and I've been on your panels. That was really Vivek, something that really got my attention, because I've taken a different approach in life, if you will, as far as business goes, and I view everything that I do in my business as a project, everything, and so it's not like, okay, here, David, what do you do? Well, what David does is he finds out where some pain is, and he puts a project together to relieve the pain. I mean, that's really what I do, and so I got turned on to your concept very quickly. The problem was I should have learned about it 40 years ago when I started to take that approach to things, because I
would put it slightly differently, David. Even the concept that my series is based on, the Prince 2, that itself started not too long ago. So in a way, people like yourselves and people who have experiences like yourselves, they kind of formulated the Prince 2 methodology and so on. So yeah, in a way, I would probably say that you had, not just still having, you already had an impact on the formulation of the Prince 2, because that's what you have been doing.
Can I ask a question there for you, Vivek?
Absolutely, you can have that. We're all about asking questions.
Yeah,
and getting answers.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what you're doing. I mean, I'm new here, right? So can you just tell me exactly what you offer?
Are you asking me or Vivek?
For Vivek, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What I offer is integrating technology and making it simple, making your life simple. That can involve writing applications, computer software. It may involve your website. It may involve, I mean, it's a wide-ranging field. And what do you want me to do?
Yeah, so who do you work with? Like, who is your ideal client here?
Ideal client would be someone who is completely disorganized.
Yeah. Can you be a little bit more specific? Is it small?
Someone who, yeah, someone who is out and about a lot, someone who has a lot of things going on, but needs to bring together various technologies, bring together, say, their websites, their mobile phones, their computers, their laptops, all of that together. Integration. That's what I do.
To put it in perspective, Margarita,
put it the actual my website and the copy and that, and I don't really understand it yet. Can you be a little bit more specific?
I was just going to say he can get as sophisticated as probably the most intense project that Vivek ever worked on was the first train in Delhi, India. He was on the development team to develop the first train, and so he's got that level of sophistication. But and Vivek, if it's okay, let me attempt to give an answer because I know you pretty well, and you and I have talked a little bit about your skill set. Not a little bit. We've talked a lot about your skill sets. Vivek, number one, is he's got Google technology mastered. So if there's any challenge that you have in any aspect of Google, he can help you integrate, anything that you're doing into a single focus kind of thing. That's in very simple terms what he can do. But just this week, what was it that you made a comment, Vivek, and I came back to that comment and said you ought to develop a software app for that. And remind me exactly what that was.
Yeah, that was time stamping these HOAs.
Time stamping.
Yes.
Okay.
Vivek does an outstanding job of time stamping HOAs. He does an outstanding job doing that. But as I said to him, somebody else had talked. As Jason Weiser was talking about time stamping, and he was testing whether or not an HOA of his that he time stamped had better readership and engagement than one that he just threw out there. And the answer, he found that, well, we all knew what the answer was going to be, where when you timestamp an HOA, you're going to get more engagement. Because people say, well, geez, I don't have to listen to all that. That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in that point, so I fast forward to 19 minutes and 42 seconds, and there's a topic of discussion I really want to hear. So I had commented to Jason. He had sent an email out about one of the HOAs that he had done. He had time-stamped it and made a comment about it. I came back to Jason and said, whatever, and then I said, and then I thought of Vivek and what a great job that he does in time-stamping HOAs. So I said, time-stamping is great, but it's a tedious, manual process, period. You have to go back and listen to every moment of that HOA and say, okay, stop it. Here's the time. Here's what was said. Here's who said it. And I said to Vivek, why don't you come up with an app that automates that whole time-stamping process? So how far along are you on the development, Vivek?
As I said in response to that, it's
a big
automation. Automation as such is not possible. I mean, in simple terms, automation is not possible. What can be done is make the process simple, because human has to be involved. It's not just what was said. In an HOA, what happens is you say a long sentence, and as a human, you interpret what it means, and then that meaning is more important than what exactly was said.
Vivek, a light just went off. Is that not kind of like reverse voice recognition?
That as such is already there. That's already there. If you, for example, if you go on the YouTube that you have lots of nearly 1,000, or have you already hit 1,000 YouTubes? And each of them will have a automatically generated transcript. That's done already by Google. But that's not the point. But there are two issues with that, actually. One is, depending on the internet connectivity and so on, often the software fails to recognize the words correctly, and so it's filled with inaccurate.
Wow, and I'll tell you what, of all the great technology that Google has, their worst technology is their voice recognition. I mean, I have Google Voice.
Yeah,
that's what I use. That's what I use as a telephone is Google Voice, and the transcription of that voice message is unbelievable. It's not even close half the time.
Yeah,
not even close.
So it's that's already there. But the problem with that, as I said, is number one is not accurate. The second one is it. After all, what does it do? It transcribes what you said, but it doesn't transcribe. It has no way of understanding what your intent was when you said what you said. And the software, any software that I write, should be able to enable a human being to key that in an easy, simple way.
I get it. Great. Thank
well, you know why you get it, Margarita? You know why? Because that's the whole intuitive thing that you use in describing yourself.
Yeah.
That's why you get it. It's intuitive.
Sure.
Well, that Ellen Bellametti. Good morning, Alina. Alina, good morning. Mentions the process can be the change of voices. Yeah, it's just it's crazy, but there's no question that time stamping in HOA provides extreme value to whomever is using it, because we've got there's so many HOAs being produced, so much information is being put out there. There's no way we can. There's absolutely no way we can hit everything live. We just can't do it. There's some people that try, but it's a very difficult thing. And then we say, okay, that's a good. I like that concept. We don't know if the HOA was good, but they like the concept. And so we say, well, I'll go back to that, and when I've got some time, I'll listen to the HOA. If there was a way to, say, okay, there's the HOA, here's the 20 sub-conversations, here's the 100 sub-conversations that were in it. You could go through those, speed read through those more quickly than you can if you had to listen to the whole HOA. But be that as it may. In the green room, if you will, Margarita, you said, David, could I ask this question today in the HOA? And I said, of course. We are always about asking questions, collaborating with the other members of the community to get your best answer. So what is it that you really wanted to talk about today?
Well, I work within, the emotional healing market, and I wonder if there is anyone out there who could, so that we can be more specific in targeting what keywords, I mean, I have a little clue. I've been in here. I have a business since many years, and 17 years in this healing field. So I have a little bit of a clue, but the actual mechanism for searching for that, let's say on Facebook, on Google, I want to do my work. I don't want to particularly spend too much time in trying to locate where my clients are. So can you relate to that? Is there some kind of key concept that could be helpful for that?
Well, what you really need to do is to, number one, develop a consistency. Well, do you do a lot of blogging, or do you do? How do you communicate with Google, with the Google Plus community?
Well, I have my email list that I have built for a number of years, and then I do these hangouts since the beginning of the year, weekly in our show Connections. And I also have done specific series like chakra healing, training the energy body, things like that, and just give it free content. And that has been resulting quite well, I think. And then I use that content on my membership sites for my existing clients. So that is rather cool. But when you want to come to the next step, it's like one hits a glass ceiling sometimes, and you know, all your existing clients, they don't want to hear about you too often. But let's say they are very happy, but you know, you can't go to that food bowl, let's say, and eat too. You just have to listen to your clients that you have, but you can't overwhelm them and trying to push a sales marketing message to them. And I would never like to do that, because I think it's unethical, and I wouldn't feel good about being pummeled with marketing messages. So I want to be really much more wiser. And the reason why I joined you here is you dreaming with entrepreneurs, and that concept really turned me on. That, yeah, there is resources there, because, yeah. Does that explain it?
A very simple thing that you might do, very, very simple. The next HOA that you do, or communication, some type of communication that you have with existing customers, existing people who follow you, might be to say, okay, I'm doing an HOA in 2 weeks, and I would greatly appreciate for you to bring a friend who would benefit from the discussion that we're going to have. Bring a friend. The concept of bringing a friend. You know, the best way to expand your business, the easiest way to expand your business, and most folks don't take advantage of it, is very simply asking existing customers for a referral. And they're your customers, and they like you, they do business with you. So if you ask them for a referral, that's a very, very strong thing. Well, if you have an HOA and you say bring a friend, or you create a reason to bring the friend, then that's a referral. They have referred that person to you. And so if you've got 10 people doing it, and 10 people bring, you double the size.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to the forefront of my mind here. Yeah, that's helpful.
Well, and it sounds like the type of approach, and I've never gone to one of your HOAs, but I'm going to start this Thursday. It sounds like it wouldn't be that difficult of a thing to do, and it wouldn't be necessarily a big, push for your friends and followers and customers to bring somebody. You're not asking them to jump off the edge of the earth for you. You're just saying, well, here's our theme, and I want to tell more folks. I want more folks to benefit. Can you bring somebody, or give me their email address or whatever, so that I can invite them to the HOA?
Great. Great.
Vivek, you wanna accept my invitation to Thursday's HOA with Margarita?
Yeah, the voice series starts the 21st of August, so this is like three events from now. But you're welcome to check us out on Thursday.
21st of August is my mother's 91st birthday.
Oh, great! It's 9 a.m. in the morning, Eastern.
Okay, no, I just my mom's going to be 91 on August 21st.
Awesome. I may be wrong on the date. Is it 24? It's a Thursday anyway. I didn't have the calendar in front of me.
What does Vivek have going over there? What is?
I'm actually.
Oh, there you go.
I'm actually showing your website, Crystal Lotus.
Yeah, that's me.
And this I think is a good way. I mean, what you have done there.
That's Heidi, my buddy. We do hangouts on.
Is that Woody Allen?
Mike Fontaine on there, and
Is that Woody Allen?
Woody Allen.
It looks a little bit like Woody Allen. Wait a second, you got a friend of mine in the third spot there. That's Mike Fountain.
Yeah, he was on our show the other day, and we had a series about relationships and money, and then that was a mini series.
Mike is a very active participant in this community, our community.
Yeah. So we're starting that new mini series on the Thursday. Maybe it's 24 or 21. With the your voice counts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, I'm gonna. I need some guidance on that one. Not so much in the business world. I'm okay in the business world. It's my personal life. I don't know how much my voice counts. Okay. Vivek, is there a particular business issue or concept? Why don't you remind us exactly what we're going to be talking about on Monday?
I would be talking about on project plans and how it relates to small businesses. Every small business needs to make use of whatever resources they have, and so it's beneficial for them to treat everything that they do, which is not business as usual. I mean, whenever they want to bring in some change, they need to think of that as a project. And
well, I'm looking forward to that, and I wanted to share an HOA that I'm doing on Monday after yours with Stephanie Sims. Stephanie is a financial consultant, and she's very knowledgeable not only in personal matters of money but also business matters of money. So we're going to talk about that on Monday at 11:30, and on Tuesday at 11:30, I have one of my original featured entrepreneurs a long time ago. She's one of my first ones. Brooke Ballard is going to be. We're going to be talking. Brooke was just named as one of the leading social media people by somebody, and I saw that and I congratulated her. But Brooke is going to be. We're going to be talking about email marketing. I'm seeing a lot of discussion right now about email marketing and integrating email into your social media strategy, and if anybody can address that very, very well, it's going to be Brooke. So that's going to be our topic on Tuesday, and of course we'll have our our regular community meeting next Saturday. Well, you know what? Yes, we will. We will have a Saturday. I have to go out of town, but I'm not going to leave until after the community meeting is over. Coming up in August, I'm going to be launching a process, a system for asking lots and lots and lots of questions. That's small business owners have to be asking questions all the time. The two of you have asked several questions today already. And 6 years ago, I published a book, How Do You Answer These 749 Questions About Your Small Business? And it accomplished my objectives back then. I put probably at least 5,000 books into circulation. A lot of students, at least 1,000 of those books went to students of entrepreneurship, grade school students, high school students, college students. But obviously, I'm a staunch advocate of asking questions. And 2 weeks ago, my friend David Amerlin did a really interesting post where he presented 10 questions. And as soon as I saw the posting, I commented on it, and I immediately contacted David. And sometime in early August, we don't have a date yet, he's going to do an HOA with us, and we're going to talk about his 10 questions. I'm going to read those questions real quickly, but David will deal with the concepts. What drives your business forward? Who makes the decisions? Oh, and I should digress for a moment. David does a lot of very, very high-level consulting with international corporations. So a lot of these questions have that flair to them. So a small business owner might not have to have an answer to the exact question, but if you drill down a little bit, and I want David to discuss the concept so we can bring it down to the level of small business. How do you make sure that everyone does what they should? Oh my goodness. You have a whip and you crack it over their heads. That's what you do. Where is the line drawn in your idealism? Great question. Number 5, what happens when what you do causes some kind of damage along the way? Damage control. It's a great topic for small business because if a small business doesn't have a handle around some type of damage control process, it could put them out of business pretty quickly. And so that's a great question, no matter what the size of the business. What happens when a competitor goes after you with all guns blazing? I don't know what happens to you guys, but I smile when that happens. My competitor giving me recognition, how cool is that?
Yeah,
I'll go one-on-one with anybody. Bring it on. Bring it on, man. Let's go. Let's take it to the marketplace. Number 7, how do you keep your employees happy? Oh, my goodness. I had to ask myself that question in 1979, and I guess the answer to that question was give them a paycheck. That keeps them happy. But I had a great staff, and I was young. Well, I was younger at the time. I wasn't 30 years old. I was just becoming 30 years old, and I had this staff of 15 people, and virtually every person I had was really, I was their first job out of college. I had some college connections in my community, and I recruited a lot of those folks to get involved in my magazine, but I did not enjoy the experience of, managing, if you will, the affairs of 15 other people. I have enough challenges with my own, and so I didn't enjoy the experience, and we became profitable in the 11th month of operation, which is great for any small business, particularly one in the publishing business. But I decided I wasn't happy with where my life was, so I stopped. And and regrouped. Where do all your new ideas come from? Great, great question, because we always have to be coming up with new ideas to keep things going. How do you deal with the need for change in your organization? Change. We have to be change agents, and not enough of us really are. But we have to be very, very open to the concept of change and not fight it. Deal with it. How do you deal with failure in your organization? That'll be an interesting discussion for David. Uh, as you know, Vivek, I do not like to use the word failure, and I think it's more failure in the big picture as opposed to failure in the organization. It's pretty easy, I think, to fail within an organization. I mean, you have a goal and objective, and you don't achieve it, and boom, there it is. Or your employees are unhappy and they start a revolution against the owner of the company, or whatever it might be. But as an entrepreneur, I don't like the use of the word failure. I think that failure with an entrepreneur is not trying.
It's I would say failure is when you don't get up. It's not when you it's not the fact that you fall down. It's when you don't get up, then it's a failure.
It's not the end result, it's the beginning result. It's the beginning of the process, not the end of or evaluation of the process.
Yeah.
I've also added 3 questions that I'm going to deal with. I'm going to deal with more than 3 questions this week, but as I was thinking about David's, I thought about question 53 in my book of 749 questions was, do you have a written business strategy? Now, I didn't use the word plan there. I used the word strategy very, very purposefully, and emphasis on the word written. Put it in writing. Not only put it in writing, put it in a place where you can read it on an hourly basis, so you can see, what it is that your purpose is. Number 2, which was question 57 in my book, do you discuss your business strategy regularly with an advisory board? The emphasis on advisory board. And I don't know, Vivek, if you, you were there with the discussion I was having with Jess and Nora about their business. A very, very important aspect of their business is going to be this concept of advisory boards. I've been talking about advisory board, since 2007 when I wrote the book anyway, that it's very, very important. And that's one of the things I did not do in my lifetime. As I look back on what I did in business, I should have had an advisory board. In a sense, my customers were my advisory board, which, they give me the right, they give me the answers that I need to hear. But every business needs an advisory board, and your advisory board should be included in your advisory board should be a small business accountant, emphasis on small business accountant, small business attorney, a technology person, a strategy person, business strategy person, a marketing person, a banker, and probably a person that understands business insurance. That's an area where most small businesses that I talk to don't have a clue about what's the best. How should they best protect themselves with insurance? What should they be? What should we be doing? It might be something like cyber insurance. It might be loss of business. Whatever it might be. So that's an advisory board, and very, very important for a small business to have one. And then question number 3, that got me thinking was, do you properly target your marketing dollars with a direct marketing strategy? Now, there's a lot of words in there that folks might not understand. Um, Direct marketing. I am a direct marketer. A direct marketer is simply one who does marketing, and the marketing that they do can be measured and measured accurately. This worked, this didn't work. And so then you say, okay, I spent X number of dollars, I spent X number of time on whatever the objective was, here's the result. A direct marketer understands the relationship with money spent, energy exerted, results that happened. And if you can't measure that in some fashion, you are probably wasting your marketing dollars. So you have to have that element of direct. Now, internet, Google Plus, Hangouts on Air, there's nothing more direct than what we are doing right now. I mean, this is the bottom line, the foundation of direct marketing is the dialogue that we have with our panelists, with the marketplace, with our followers, with whomever might watch our HOA. That there's no more pure form of direct marketing than that. And that's why I like HOAs and what we can do with them. Vivek and Margarita, yesterday I was involved in a conversation. I was in an HOA. I was on a panel with my friend Bruce McCollum, and we talked about. And there were 4 panelists, including Bruce, and 3 of us were. Well, I don't know about the third one. Bruce and I are definitely over 60. I don't know about the third one, but then there was a younger fella. He was probably in his early 40s on the panel, and we got into a discussion about nobody uses a telephone anymore. I mean, it's amazing, and there's nothing more direct in marketing than a telephone, where you absolutely know at the end of the conversation, did it work or did it not work? And I remember the days very clearly where I would spend maybe 90% of my day on the telephone, on the work day, on the telephone. That's how we communicated with folks, and it's a forgotten art. We're so enamored with the internet and being able to reach millions of people potentially in a short amount of time. We forget that relationships are built one at a time. We forget that concept, and it's so very, very basic.
I agree with that totally. I actually, a client recently, we had an email conversation. I said, let's have a talk. So she gave me her phone number, and I called her up. And, you know, that was just so great to cement that. And now it's yeah, so I totally agree with you.
Well, actually, I'll take it one step further. I would prefer doing a hangout, a one-to-one hangout with somebody, as opposed to a telephone call, because we can look at the person, we can look at their facial expression, we can look at their eyes, we can get their reaction to whatever it is that that we're talking about. So I actually prefer a video chat over a telephone call. The challenge there being that there are so many folks that are afraid or don't try to understand how to use Google Plus technology, which isn't that difficult, but it's definitely engaging. Well, look here, Vivek is in the UK. He's 5 time zones away from me. Margarita, you're probably, as the crow flies, probably what, 6 or maybe 5 hours, 6 hours.
So no. Where are you, David?
I'm in southwestern Ohio.
So I'm at the New York time or Toronto time.
Oh, I'm on the same time zone you are, but
Yeah.
probably about. Well, it's probably a 10-hour drive. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this is amazing. We're bridging so long distances. I mean, this is just so exciting.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I have a really stupid schedule, time schedule. I go to bed early and I get up early, and like when I'm getting up and sitting down to my computer, Vivek is probably getting ready to sit down to his computer, and he's 5 time zones away from me. So he and I connect very often, very, very early in the morning. Now we might not talk, but we'll chat. With one another. We'll message one another. Uh, but that's the amazing thing. And to that point, it's one of the interesting things. I really have to do a deep analysis. I keep talking about it, but I got to get into it. This community is now over 350 members, and I'm going to guess that half of those live outside the United States. And not only live outside the United States, a strong number live east of the UK. So it's amazing, and also I've got an interesting demographic, age-wise, of folks that belong to the community. And I really have to. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to do that this week, and try to figure out who everybody is, how old are you? Not that it matters, but if we know those kind of things, we can be more collaborative in what it is we do. Because obviously, a 24-year-old or a 30-year-old doesn't have they have less than half as much experience as I have, just by age, just by number of years. So we'll have to see. Well, you know what? We are at our hour. We could probably. Well, I know I could go on talking for another 2 or 3 hours, but I don't think you guys want to listen to me for that long. So we will say thank you to everyone. And Margarita, do you have a comment, a summary statement, if you will, that you'd like to make, or just an announcement?
Sure. I really enjoy this conversation, and the very topic of connecting my intuition or the field I'm in, and calling it Dreaming with Entrepreneurs, because it's during the intuitive process that we can actually connect with what we're supposed to do. And so I try to listen to my own guidance all the time, failing sometimes. And if the mindset of the entrepreneurs are like that, I would love to know them, because this is the future of business as we know it.
Thank you for that wonderful summary statement. Vivek?
No, I participate in these meetings regularly, so nothing special.
Except 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, the discussion continues. Monday morning, 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time.
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the UK.
Yeah.
9 o'clock in Canada. So we're looking forward for that. And I want to thank my two panelists for taking time out of their Saturday morning schedules to come and share their wisdom and their expertise. And we look forward to your further participation in our community meetings. And I want to thank anybody who took time out of their schedule to come into the event. I know Elena did. Bellametti was actually the only one that identified themselves, but there were some other folks that did and did not identify themselves. Thank you. And for anyone that might be just coming and seeing this HOA in my own events, in my own Google Stream, or if you find it on my YouTube channel, if you have any questions or comments, do not hesitate to contact me probably the easiest way to do it is to put it right in the event stream itself. I get notified that an event has been, that there's been a comment in that event. That's probably the best way to stay in touch. And it also demonstrates that the event stream does not have to stop when I hit the stop broadcast button. As a matter of fact, event streams can be brought back a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, a year from now, based upon comments that were made in that event stream. And if you have something to update a comment in there, bring that event stream back again. It's a valuable tool, and Google loves it because it gives them more data to put into the data search machine, and that's, I guess, what we're all striving for. So thank you once again, and we'll see you the next time, which may very well be the best time.